Whoa. Do my eyes deceive me? Do I see Bishop and Cable once again side by side trying to take out an enemy that just want to take out all of the time streams involving mutant kind? Yes, I'm talking about Time Slide number 1. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy Earth Smack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix channel and another episode of Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the most recent issues in comics, as well as past issues in comics, as well as character bios. If you ask for it, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, and hit us up in the comments because we want to hear from you guys. And shout out to our now 413 subscribers on this YouTube channel, because we climbing up. And if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first episode of Comic Book Declassified this year. Now, there will be somewhat of a change, because I will say last year we was getting really in-depth with these issues and comics or whatever. But the thing is, I'm gonna give you an overall synopsis and also a little bit of history with these characters to kind of set things up for the issue that you're going to read, because I really do want you guys to go out to your nearest comic book store and support your nearest comic book store and get yourself a physical copy of these comics. And if it's not available, you can always create a pull list. That way you are guaranteed those physical issues. And now, if you're not a physical issue type of person, there's several different apps. Obviously, there's Marvel Unlimited, there's Global Comics, and there's also the Kindle app with Comixology, where you can read DC, Marvel, and all kind of independent comics. Because the goal here is to make you go out there and read and get back into the mix. That's all we want you to do. But yeah, let's get into some Time Slide number 1. So Time Slide number 1 is actually a one-shot. And I'm telling you, this one-shot is definitely worth it. Now, the writer is Steve Fox. The artist is Ivan Fiorelli. The color artist is Frank Darmada. Letterer is Joe Caramagna. Color artist is K.O. Gu, if I'm pronouncing the name right. And this surrounds Bishop and Nathan Summers, aka Cable. Now, this takes place after the fall of Krakoa. Bishop is doing his own thing. Cable is doing his own thing. Now, Bishop is a lawman, and he's going through various time streams to handle business. You know what I'm saying? There's other villains out there that he takes care of. He's more like a bounty hunter type of situation. But he is met with Tempest. Now, Tempest lets him know, hey, there's a situation happening, you know what I'm saying? And we got to go see somebody, because you guys have a mutual enemy, because this enemy out here is going through various timelines and erasing this thing. And the only two people I can think of in my head that can take care of the situation is these two mutant gun-toting guys that can do the job. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Cable and Bishop. And the new villain that I'm talking about is Vakana. And Vakana was created by the Children of the Vault. Now, who is the Children of the Vault? Now, Children of the Vault is these superhuman beings that sole purpose is to eliminate mutants and humans so they can take over the world. So they create Vakana, and Vakana is doing just that. So this is what this one shot is all about. Now, the unique thing is Cable's and Bishop's relationship, because their relationship has not always been sunshine and rainbows. It hasn't been. You know, there's been some times that they've been bitter enemies. There's some times that they were aligned. And there's some times that they were on the same side, but they had a different philosophy. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history on that. It's just set up, you know, the quips that they have with each other in this comic, because they do revert back to some of the stuff that happened in the past and how they're not exactly the best of friends. I will say my first experience with Bishop, how I really got to know Bishop, is through X-Men, the animated series. Like, when I was introduced to him, my first thought was Cable. I was like, wow, you time traveling, you carry an energy weapon. Cable time travels, he got an energy weapon. I wonder what would happen if you two actually battle each other. That's my first thought, right? And then afterwards, I'm like, man, it would be so dope if you guys were side by side, fighting alongside each other. So I'm a huge fan of Cable and Bishop, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of history on those two. So let's start back to the execution of the song. So during the execution of the song, Cable and Bishop met each other during that storyline in X Factor 1986, number 85 by Peter David, Jay Lee, and Al Milgrom. Now, which took place shortly after both time travelers arrived in the present. Now, Cable traveled back in time to hunt Strife, and Strife is an evil clone of his that was raised by Apocalypse and also an enemy of the X-Men. Now, meanwhile, Bishop came to the present in pursuit of a serial killer, only to stay with the X-Men to protect Charles Xavier and say, hey, I am your personal bodyguard. Now, as a start of execution of the song, Strife shot Xavier whilst posing as Cable. Obviously, Bishop sees this and he's like, yo, I'm gonna go back in time and I'm gonna go find this X-Force leader. Now, he traveled with Wolverine, Bishop and Cable go at it, and man, what a battle it was. Bishop wasn't hearing none of that. It took Wolverine, of all people, to be the voice of reason, because he sliced the gun in half and he's like, listen, I'm willing to hear Cable out, because Cable wasn't the one that actually shot Xavier. So, I mean, you know how strong your beef got to be for Wolverine to be the voice of reason? Wolverine, of all people. So, with that, they teamed up to fight Strife, and pretty much Strife got defeated. Now, also, Cable and Bishop was on the X-Men together. Now, after that initial encounter, they stayed relatively on friendly terms. Now, although they rarely interacted since they served on different X-Men squads, Bishop was adjusting to the present. Obviously, he time travels. He kind of see what happens, and that got to be some kind of a conundrum to know what exactly is going to happen, because you already been in the past. But he basically speaks with Cable about his unique pressures of being a time traveler stuck in the past. And this was during X-Men, The Life and Times of Lucas Bishop back in 2009, number 3. And then Cable teamed up with Bishop to stop a cybernetic time traveler, Sincere, from using a potentially explosive machine to return to his time in Cable 1993, number 41. Now, while Bishop was possessed by an ancient entity known as Bête Noire, he and Gambit stopped Cable from killing a seemingly repentant Strife in Gambit and Bishop 2001, number 5. Now, Strife still sacrificed himself to destroy Bête Noire, and possibly with a telepathic push for Cable. Additionally, during Civil War 2007, Cable and Bishop were two of the few X-Men who took sides in the conflict, with Bishop joining Iron Man's pro-registration heroes.
Why?
And Cable teaming up with Captain America's Secret Avengers. Now, at one point, Bishop, if you remember in X-Men, the animated series, Bishop was basically a bounty hunter for mutants. And he realized, oh man, I'm the ops.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yes, you were, sir. Yes, you were. And he decided to change sides from there. Now, one more bit of things. Now, there is Messiah Complex. Now, Messiah Complex is one of the best stories in X-Men. Now, Cable and Bishop became bitter enemies during this time period after the arrival of Hope Summers, the first mutant born after Scarlet Witch depowered most of the world's mutants in the House of M, which took place in 2005. Now, the X-Men, Mr. Sinister, and the mutant-hating Purifiers all tried to claim Hope during the Messiah Complex storyline, which took place in 2004, X-Men number 205. Now, where Cable believed Hope was the prophesized mutant messiah who was destined to save both mutant kind and humanity, Bishop thought she would cause the deaths of millions and drag the world into a dystopian future timeline. Now, as Purifiers descended on the newborn Hope's hometown, Cable saved her and went on a run, while Bishop lost his arm to a genetically engineered mutant hunting creature called the Predator. With so many threats to Hope in the present, X-Men allowed Cable to take her into the future for her protection in X-Men 2004, number 207. Just as Cable and Hope left for the future, Bishop accidentally shot Xavier, of all people, seemingly assassinating him, and he then stole a cybernetic arm and time travel technology from Forge's lab to continue to chase Hope. This led to the Messiah War. As Cable and Hope time travel through different eras, Bishop relentlessly pursued the pair during Cable 2008 #1, while Cable raised and trained Hope in relatively stable future home for years. Bishop still tracked them down and killed millions of people in the process. In Bishop's troubled mind, he believed the people he murdered did not really exist because their timeline would never come to be if he completed his mission to kill Hope. I mean, hey, listen, that's some really weird logic. But when Cable and Hope went back on the run, Bishop teamed up with Strife, of all people, to trap Hope in the far future during the Messiah War. But after Strife and Bishop could not agree on what to do with Hope, Cable joined forces with Apocalypse while the modern-day X-Force team up to save her. And Bishop lost an eye in a subsequent conflict before he tried to kill Hope by detonating a nuclear weapon. So that's just a little bit of history between Cable and Bishop. So it's a little complicated, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little touchy. You know what I'm saying? It's a little touchy out there. But I will say though, with this issue, the artwork is phenomenal. We are talking like 45 pages long. Typically, when there's a one-shot with comics, they don't spare any expense because there's no other issues coming after that. Also, there's some callbacks to a Cable comic called Cable, Love, and Chrome, which we will cover on this channel, you know, in the future. But I will say though, go out and get this comic. This comic will not disappoint, especially if you are a lover of time travel and you lover of Cable, you're a lover of Bishop, and you want to see a new X-Men villain. You might want to go ahead and check this out. Remember what I said. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. And just like I said a few minutes ago, yes, Cable, Love, and Chrome will be the next comic that we cover. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a history lesson on the relationship between Cable and Bishop and how that come to be in this Time Slide #1 one shot. So until next time, y'all, peace.